The Chicago Bears found a way to win another football game, this time against the Pittsburgh Steelers at the lakefront at Soldier Field, 31-28, now 8-3 in the season, heading into Thanksgiving weekend, and we're here to break it down on the Sports Cubicle and Sports from the Couch. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Thank you for each and every one of you who is celebrating this week, whether you're working, at school, or just enjoying some free time. We really appreciate it making you a part of the holiday season. And as much as we appreciate you making us a part of your holiday season, I know you're appreciating what is going on with the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams going 19 for 35, 239 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kyle Monangai, 12 carries, 48 yards, and a touchdown. DJ Moore, 5 catches, 64 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Colston Loveland, 4 catches, 49 yards, and a touchdown. Roman Dunze getting himself 3 catches for 53 yards. Now, here when we're doing the pre-games, the post-games, the numbers themselves, they don't tell the story of what we saw at Soldier Field Sunday afternoon. I think there was a lot of things that we saw in that Bears game, and a few of them that I kind of want to highlight as we head into Thanksgiving, the 3-game slate, as we head into Eagles-Bears on Black Friday, and the rest of the Week 13 slate on Sunday. And we are getting to the end of the race. You are rounding third right now, and the playoffs are right in front of you. By the time this is on the internet, by the time this airs, we will be just under 48 hours of kickoff to Thursday night football, to Turkey Day football. That is one of those key marquee dates on the football calendar. Things get real now. And for the Chicago Bears, there's a few things that they have to work on, a few things that need to fall their way, and a few things they need to keep their eye on if football wants to be played longer than after Christmas in Chicago, or for the Chicago Bears themselves. And it's no longer just, can we play extra football? It's, can we win the NFC North? Can you be a divisional winner? That is a lot that's in the realm of possibility, that's at stake for not just the Bears, but every team in the NFC, every team in the NFC North. There's a lot of parity and a lot of, I guess you would say, competition. There are a lot of capable teams. I mean, I think there's a hierarchy of the best teams in the NFC that are the favorites, right? You would put the Seahawks there, the Rams there, and then a couple others that, off the top of mind, like maybe Philadelphia still. We'll get to them in just a second. But you're in it now. So for the Bears watching this game against Pittsburgh, worrying all week about whether Rodgers was going to play, whether that wrist was going to hold up, if it was going to be Mason Rudolph. Finding out it was going to be Mason Rudolph. Part of it was interesting to see the Bears fandom act in certain ways, like knowing the boogeyman was coming into town. Yes, you have to keep in mind everything in context. For Bears fans, that is the boogeyman. That is the big bad wolf. And even when he's at his lowest point, when it comes to his powers, you still feel as a Bears fan, not as an expert, as a pundit, as somebody who critiques fantasy football, anything like that, anybody who has some form of business take in this. If you're just a fan, that is Baba Yaga, that is John Wick in Aaron Rodgers to the Chicago Bears. And having this magical season, sitting at 7-3, staring 7-4 right down the barrel, but a possibility of 8-3, and then Rodgers coming in with the team that he has a chance to maybe win a division with. Yeah, there was some worries. But it also should have not been as hectic as it was. The Bears are a better team than the Steelers. And if it wasn't for a lot of the injuries that eventually are going to catch up to this team, that's just the sad truth of the NFL, especially at the linebackers and secondary of this team. The Bears shot themselves in the foot, giving up that strip sack that Caleb had. Like, you're talking about points on the board that you can't afford when you're not rolling on all cylinders. Again, that's why when we say the stats and we talk about the score. And we kind of run by it fast if you're new to the post-game shows or kind of our thoughts afterwards. It's because they only tell part of the story. The game is the story itself. It's where you find all the details beyond just the numbers, which are all great. It's all part of one package, but this game told a lot of different stories. Injuries being a big part of it, heading into it, coming out of it. The war of attrition that is the NFL is going to decide how far you get. It's about getting to the big dance, the big tournament, as healthy as possible. This Bears team hasn't been that recently, especially on defense. But with saying that, you're seeing a team that will give up 28 points to a Rudolph, that will lose a game to Tyler Huntley, will lose a game to J.J. McCarthy week 1. So you need an offense that's going to carry you. And for somebody like myself, 35 years old, I have never said the Bears offense needs to carry this team without it being a slight on the offense that they've never held their end of the bargain. That is not what's happening right now. The Chicago Bears offense is one of the better offenses in the NFL, especially when you look at some advanced metrics. You know, whether it's how many times they're going down the field, their accuracy down their field, their aggression, all that different stuff. This is what we're talking about. It's not this Bears offense needs to carry this team because they've never held their end of the bargain, their weights of it all. No. It's a defense that has tried. You're seeing what the guys that are playing, like Wright on defense, making big plays. This is a team that does take the ball away, that will try. They will give up points because there's only so much depth that they have. Your offense needs to be as great as it can be, as it's shown to be. It needs to be dependable. And that's different than when Bears fans and Bears pundits and people who've covered this team, journalists, radio and media heads. It's different now. Bears offense with Ben Johnson play calling and leading the way. Caleb developing week in and week out. Seeing within victories that there are teachable moments for this team. Goes to show the shift in culture that we've seen for the Chicago Bears. And one of the things that we've kept on is mistakes. And we've seen them kind of ramp down on some of them, especially like on the offensive line, false starts, things like that. But you can't have moments where you're giving the team the ball away. You just can't. Your defense will be out there, will give it its all, but will give up points. So you can't make it that easy for the other defense. And while I'm okay with Caleb throwing interceptions because that means he's aggressive. That means he's not holding on to the ball. Mistakes, being irresponsible with the ball, not being aware of your surroundings. Those are things you can't afford to happen. And you can't afford to give up points on offense. But a victory is a victory in the NFL. And it doesn't matter how you get it. You know, luck is just opportunity meeting preparation, right? The Chicago Bears, you would say, are lucky that they're in these games, that they win at the very end, the one-score games, the amount that they've won. You look at Kansas City last year. I think they were 5-1 in one-possession games last year. Now it's flipped around, and yet they're still in the playoff picture right now this year. But point being, you have to be in the position to win the game. That means after 58 minutes of football, 57, 58, even 59 minutes of football, that you have allowed yourself, you have played well enough, or you've stayed in the game long enough that you could potentially still walk away with a victory. It's one thing if you do that 1 week. It's one thing if you do it twice in a season. But when week in and week out, after winning 7 of 8, this is where you're at. This is the team that you are. You're a team that when you have an opportunity to win, you're in it. It's not over. If there's time on the clock and you could still put enough points to win the game, the Bears are not out of it yet. And that is now across the NFL a known fact. Does that mean that in a game that we're going to talk about in just a second on Black Friday, they're going to be favorites? they should win it. No, it's the NFL. We just saw what happened to Philadelphia against Dallas, right? Anything can happen any given Sunday. The reason the cliche exists is because it's real. It happens. There's a reason for it. The Chicago Bears winning the way they have, week in and week out, shows that they are a team that will continue to chip away. And if you don't put them out of their own misery, they'll put you in one yourself. They will make it miserable for you. Doesn't mean they're going to win. Doesn't mean they're going to start a game putting up 28 unanswered points. But it means if you don't put them away, there are going to be problems for you. And that is something we have not seen in Chicago, at least in my fandom. Not like this. Not with an offense like this. Hell, not even with a defense like this that at any given moment can make a mistake by your quarterback cost you 6 points. If at the very least, really bad field position for your defense. So never apologize for a victory, especially one where it's a team over 500 that might win their own division and they get a benefit of the doubt that your organization doesn't. Take it, store it, it counts like every other. Watch the film, have a good week of practice, and get ready for a hell of a game on Black Friday. And one of the truest things in the National Football League, you never apologize for a victory, as the Chicago Bears beat the Pittsburgh Steelers 31-28 at Soldier Field in the Lakefront, moving their record to 8-3 in the season, getting one step closer to an NFL NFC playoff berth. We are breaking it all down here on the Sports Cubicle and Sports from the Couch. I'm your host, Mike Mercado. Thank you so much for joining us here. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube at the Sports Cubicle. And coming up next is now a date on Black Friday. It will be the 8-3 Chicago Bears taking on the 8-3 Philadelphia Eagles in Philly. A kickoff at 2 p.m. And this will be after 3 games of Turkey Day football. And this is where I'm at with this game, guys. We're going to have a complete preview and breakdown on a live edition of the Sports Cubicle on WCPT 820 AM Heartland Signal. Make sure you guys are all over our social medias. We will put a link to that. We'll have a full pregame show of Bears Eagles. But my initial thoughts early on the week, a very short week for the Chicago Bears. This is a game, obviously, where you are the underdog. You're not just the underdog, you're rightfully the underdog. It doesn't matter that the Philadelphia Eagles lost the game against Dallas the way they did, or the fan base against Philadelphia turning on Jalen Hurts, or doesn't matter. This is a team that has done it all, has seen it all, been through it all, and have gone against the big bad giant, the Goliath of the league, and are the rare team that has beaten them. Hell, a team that's beaten them that doesn't have Tom Brady. They won't get rattled. They won't lose focus, and they won't cower and break down for you. You're going to have to take this game from them. The Bears, rightfully so, are going to be big-time underdogs. And there's going to be a lot of skeptical hippo eyes watching this game to see really where the Bears stand in the pecking order of the NFC. And while you may not feel confident, while I may not feel all the confidence in the world, don't count them out yet. Let's see what Bears team shows up. Let's see what Ben Johnson does this week of practice, this short week, this holiday week. Focuses his group together. A business trip to Philadelphia. How does he coach his team? How does this team respond to it? How do they respond to the talk? Being the toast of the town. Being on the main screen of ESPN, Fox, CBS, NFL Network, Amazon. It doesn't matter, right? It can't matter when you're dealing with such a big-time matchup like this. And Bears fans rightfully so are worried because after that, you have a game against the Green Bay Packers at Green Bay. And then you're bringing what could be 2-game losing streak, a potential 1-1 streak, a chance to get to 9-10 wins. You finally come home and then you're playing the Cleveland Browns. And then finally, the Packers again. And then just the next 4 games Bears fans have on their calendar. Can you find 2 wins there? Can you sneak away win number 9 against the Philadelphia Eagles, a game you're not supposed to win? There's a lot on the line these next few weeks, and you could really get ahead of the curve if you surprise the nation and upset the Philadelphia Eagles on Black Friday. Make it a memorable Black Friday for the fan base. But we'll be breaking it down on a live edition of the Sports Cubicle and Sports from the Couch on WCPT 820 AM Heartland Signal Thursday, this Thanksgiving, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central. The whole gang will be there. We'll have a link out on all the socials to make sure you guys follow us there. But until then, enjoy the starts of your holiday week. If you're working, you're at school, if you're off, whatever the case may be, enjoy it the way you do. We will see you for a full 3-game slate of Thanksgiving Day football and then live on the radio, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. here in Chicago. And finally, pre-gaming, Bears versus Eagles on Black Friday. But until then, your 8-3 Chicago Bears enjoy a 31-28 victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, enjoy your Thanksgiving Day holiday. We will see you next time here on the Sports Cubicle and Sports from the Couch on WCPT 820 AM Heartland Signal, WSBC 1240 AM Chicago, and on YouTube at the Sports Cubicle. I'm your host, Mike Mercado.